quite a roller coaster of a game, Coach. 5-4 overtime victory. Overall, even though 4-1 lead was blown, got to 4-4. I thought, Eagles played a pretty solid overall game. Did you see that as well?
I did. I thought we had a great response. I thought we were skating, pressuring, creating some really good offensive plays. Like we made some nice plays getting out of our zone to create some odd man rushes. To start, it's the exact start we wanted. Of course, we would have liked to held on and not put the stress on ourselves into overtime, but that's playoffs. They get a couple. Pros made a couple huge saves, and then they get a couple ones that you think you might want to have back. But that's the way it goes. So I thought we managed that momentum swing well. We controlled our emotions, stayed focused, and we got rewarded with a great play quick in overtime.
It was a complete 180, it seemed like, from Friday night, where you guys were kind of slow to get off the bench and get going at the beginning of the game, and tonight it was just pedal to the metal. And it seemed like, to me at least. Would you agree?
Yeah. There's no question. I mean, you look back at game one. You can look at a bunch of different variables. Some guys' first playoff experience, maybe some nerves, maybe some emotional drainage from the game Sunday to get home ice. And I talked about having some pockets in that game Wednesday where we were fine, but overall much more pleased, much more complete game. We showed up ready to play tonight.
Felt like Abbotsford was bit more aggressive this game than they were in game one. Do you counter that in game three by putting a guy like Dalton Smith in?
We'll take a look at the tape. We'll get an update on our players, and we'll make a decision that we feel is going to be put us in the best position to win a game and win a series on Sunday.
And there was a lot of board work, it seemed like, tonight. It got awfully heavy. I mean, it seems like we always talk about this when you guys play Abbotsford, but you counterpunch pretty well. So Middleton seems to kind of step it up a little bit with that kind of play, and so does everyone else. And it seems like Kovalenko even got into the game tonight with that with his aggressiveness, his peskiness. Is there something you just told him at the beginning, or told everyone at the beginning of the game that just, hey, have at it?
Well, I mean, it's what it takes this time of year to win. I mean, you gotta get in the trenches. You gotta be tenacious. You have to have urgency every time you're on the ice, because they do. They're a hard team to play against. They're fast. They've got a 5-man forecheck where they take away your time and space real quick. So you've got to be able to battle in those small areas. You've got to be able to make plays in those small areas. You've got to win the walls in those small areas. If you don't and you're beat, then you're giving up big chances. So I thought everyone in our lineup was committed to doing that, sacrificed, put their bodies in harm's way. We're physical, getting in, those 50-50 puck battles, and talk about tenacity with Kovalenko, Pavel, Smallman, Burke. I mean, you got to be able to do it. You got to be willing to do it this time of year.
You mentioned one word before the series started for Abbotsford, and that was quickness. Do you feel like you need to match the Canucks' quickness, or that you can play your game style and just stick to that, and that will be sufficient?
I just know every time we've played them, it's a fast game. It's up and down the ice. That's the way they play. They play right on top of you, and when you make a mistake, they capitalize on it. I feel we're pretty similar. I feel we're a heavy forechecking team. We want to get up the ice quick. We want to play a north game. And if you look at every game we've played, they've been pretty tight. It's a team that does it for 60 minutes, usually comes out with a win. How do we counter it? We play our game. We got to make sure we have smart positioning against this team. We're physical. You got to step in front of them so they don't get all that speed coming up the ice. That's kind of our focus.
And last question, since we got to wrap it up here, but what was the message going into overtime?
Enjoy it. It's the best time to be a hockey player. You know, your season's on the line. You're in overtime. Somebody's going to be a hero. You know, it's an exciting thing to be a part of, especially in our building. And I thought our guys responded well.
Awesome.